Should you retire to Minnesota? Hear me out. I am not nuts, or at least WalletHub doesn't think so, because they ranked Minnesota as number 8 overall for states to retire to, and we took the top 2 spots, number 1 for healthcare and number 2 for quality of life. My name is Schumann, and I am a realtor here in the Twin Cities, and I make videos to help you understand what it's like here in Minnesota, whether that means showing you what the neighborhoods, suburbs, or cities look like and have to offer, or giving my perspective as an outsider moving to Minnesota on what it's like to live here. I've only been here 8 years. I wasn't raised here like the natives were, and they have an unwavering certainty that they were born in the very best place on the planet. But I can see why they believe this. I just haven't drank all the Kool-Aid quite yet. And I do give the occasional update to what the real estate market is doing here. If you are thinking about making the move, I do have a relocation guide down in my description box, and that is free. And I am always available to answer questions, so please reach out. I really do enjoy my role as a virtual Minnesota ambassador to the rest of the world. Okay, now what in the heck was WalletHub thinking about? Why in the world would someone choose to retire to a place that gets notoriously cold? And why would they not just go to a beach or live near a golf course down in Florida? Well, lots of reasons, apparently. Maybe you are not like those beach people and want a more diverse climate. Maybe you have family here. Maybe you'd like Minnesota to be your primary residence for 3 seasons and then float around the southern hemisphere exploring the world during the winter. I don't think people magically become Southerners when they retire. And with that in mind, what is Minnesota offering to retirees? The number 1 ranking in access to quality healthcare in the United States is not something to sneeze at. All of our bodies get to a point where you need a little tune-up, or maybe you need some ongoing maintenance. And having that available and also having a lot of choices is so important to leading a quality life. You can hire anyone to shovel your walk, but finding a good doctor and someone that specializes in your particular needs, that's another story. WalletHub ranked states according to the number of medical providers per capita, including providers like doctors, nurses, dentists, and home health aides. They also looked at the share of the population over 55 and over 65 that live in isolation, are physically active, have a high life expectancy. Minnesotans live longer than almost everyone in the United States. Our average life expectancy here is about 80 years old. And I'm just going to say it, cold must be really good for you. And they looked at the share of the population in this age group with good overall physical and mental health. And another one of their criteria was access to doctors that specialize specifically in elder care. So looking at these all together, Massachusetts and Connecticut got the honorable mentions in this category. And all I'm going to say to the Northeast is, better luck next time. Try harder. All right, so let's take a look at what makes Minnesota score so highly on quality of life. WalletHub looked at the percentage of people aged 65 or older for each state. We land right in the middle of the pack, and we have a balanced population with about 17% of our population falling into this age bracket. Minnesota has a low percentage of seniors living in poverty compared to other states, and a low food insecurity rate. I actually laughed when I looked at some of the things that they looked at for quality of life, because one of the factors was bingo halls per capita, and I believe that Minnesota probably really ranks there. But that was in with a mix of other social amenities, things like theaters, museums, golf courses, and access to adult volunteer activities. And I'm just going to add from an observational standpoint, as I have done videos around the metro, and this is not comparative, it's just my observation. I have often noted that well-established senior community centers are in most areas, and they offer activities and ways for people to socialize. There is also heavy usage of the Silver Sneakers program here that enables seniors to use the gym as part of their Medicare. So that means that there are classes and ways to stay active here at no cost all year round, even in winter. One of the other criteria mentioned was the elder-friendly job market. So if this is something that you are thinking of, a part-time job or some other employment, Minnesota is friendly to that as well. I can say that we currently have an extremely low unemployment rate, and that means that you're probably not going to be competing with the whippersnappers for what my mom called your pin money. One of the experts that they interviewed for this article said the following: age-friendly states and communities have access to quality health, social, and other public services, good systems of transportation. They are walkable and safe, offer opportunities for employment, volunteering, and civic engagement. And I can tell you that civic engagement is a big deal here. And they also have effective systems for information sharing and communicating with the citizens, encourage older adults to have a voice, and be respected in the communities in which they live. And I really think that this applies to Minnesota. If you are looking for a 55 and up community, you may want to watch a video I did recently on Vida Ativa in Farmington. It's a suburb of the Twin Cities. I'll link to that here. If living in the least expensive part of the country is what you value most, then Minnesota will not fit the bill. That distinction belongs to Alabama, at least according to this study. But honestly, I would say if you're choosing between Minnesota and Alabama, there's probably a lot more going into your decision than cost, because they are very different places. And I know this from living in the Deep South for a long stretch. So is Minnesota right for you? Do you have questions? I would love to help you out, so let me know. And thank you for watching.